All righty. All rise, Pledge of Allegiance, moment of silence. Pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And moment of silence. All right, ready to go. Let's light the candle. General reminders, format. I made an adjustment to the format. Previously, we didn't have comments on each agenda item. I am doing 2 minutes for testimony on each agenda item, and then still the 3-minute public comment at the end. Even if you choose to use the 2 minutes on the individual items, you still get 3 minutes at the end if you so choose. We have a large audience, and obviously at least one, if not two, controversial issues on here. So I encourage folks that we remain silent while folks are talking so they can be heard. If folks don't manage to end after the 2 minutes, they'll get a warning. If they disrupt the meeting, they'll be asked to leave. If folks have trouble leaving, they'll be assisted in leaving. Yeah. I assist. Well, I won't assist, but someone I'm sure will assist. And as a general reminder, volume does not make a point better, so appreciate just calm conversation. I'll be loud because I see someone holding their ear. Alrighty, moving on. We have department heads. First one, request approval of amendment to employment contract Alexandra Mickelwright and approve payroll resolution. Mike, good morning.
Hello, morning.
Morning, Mike.
So this is an amendment for one of our psychiatric mental health nurse practitioners. She's been with us for a year under a employment contract, and we are amending it to for her for $162 a year.
Mr. Chair, move to approve and sign contract amendment effective February 1st, 2026, and attached payroll resolution 26-01-007P.
Second.
Motion and a second. Motion passes. Discussion? And discussion on... Say again?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, it didn't pass.
Didn't pass.
Motioned and seconded. Discussion.
No, sir?
No, sir.
Public, any input on employment? Alrighty, that's a boring one. Call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We are on to the next one. Oh, you're off the hook already. Request approval
for
of...
now.
Well, for now. Request approval of job description for right-of-way supervisor. Approved posting, filing the position. Roads, but that's not roads. How you
I
doing?
move we approve the right-of-way supervisor non-union job description under pay grade 822 and approve posting and filling the position.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Caroline, input?
I couldn't say it any better than John. Thank you.
Alrighty.
You might want to give a little explanation.
All right, so this is a vacant position at the road department. I'm here on behalf of Paul Slater of the road department. He could not be here this morning. He has gone back and forth with HR about how to fill this position, and we decided that this is probably the best way to handle it. This position is going to perform a variety of duties, and we are asking it to go under the non-union pay grade of 822.
Alrighty. Discussion amongst ourselves. Pretty straightforward.
Always happy to see a non-union position filled.
All right.
Chair.
Discussion amongst the audience. Still boring. It's almost like you're here for something specific. Call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
We are on to request approval, purchase K9, adopt sole source findings. Sheriff, how's the morning?
Good so far, thank you.
Morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Sheriff.
Just that, so this is the K9. Can you guys hear me?
That one's not on. Just turn the switch on.
How about, oh,
There you go.
my bad, sorry. Just that, this is for the K9 that is currently being handled by probation officer Mackenzie Davis. Yeah, they help us a lot with the scent. That dog is 12 years old, so unfortunately getting up there in age, still working, but has been incredibly effective over the years working with scent. She's taken, or been instrumental in taking 30 pounds of methamphetamine, over 3 pounds of fentanyl, a bunch of other stuff. Just as a side note, that's well over 1 million doses of lethal doses of drugs off the streets. So we love our dogs, so we want to replace her. We're looking at funds from Scent, so that'll be both grant and forfeiture monies, nothing out of the general fund, so thankfully it won't affect budget. So asking board to approve the purchase of the new canine, not to exceed the amount of $19,610, and that'll be the dog and training, from Maker Canine, and to approve sole source fundings for that purchase.
Mr. Chair, move to approve the purchase of new canine not to exceed the amount of $19,610 from Maker Canine, and to approve sole source findings for that purchase.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Anybody want to comment on the goodest of girls?
When did you get it?
Got one over there.
Girl dogs.
Yes.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry, you have to come up to the mic. I didn't mention that, and you already know. Identify yourself.
Artis Anzala, Z
Nope.
from Bandon.
is the switch on that mic? Z?
Apologize.
Hello?
Hey, there you are.
Thank you.
Ta-da! Okay. I'm Z, Artis Anzala from Bandon. What happens to the dog once you retire him?
She gets to sleep on the couch a lot.
Far out,
So
thanks.
stay with the handler.
Good idea.
Just to round that out for you a little bit, Z, normally the handler purchases the dog for $1. That's our custom.
Yeah, symbolic, and yeah, she'll be cared for.
All righty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We will have to purchase her biscuits as a retirement gift. Next one, request approval, pay association dues, Association of Oregon Counties dues.
This is for the Association of Oregon Counties, of which we are a member. They are very important to all the counties in that they represent us before the, primarily job is to represent us before the state legislature to make sure that that as much as possible, laws that are passed are not harmful to the counties or its citizens. So, I move that we approve payment of the AOC dues in the amount of $37,241.11.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion.
I'd just like to point out that the AOC actually does provide valuable services and is that relationship is a profitable one for the county overall. But I would be remiss to not mention the fact that AOC advocation or opposition to legislation is always predicated on unanimity among AOC member counties. And that is something that I have a problem with because there are many opportunities that could be realized legislatively that would advantage Coos County and other rural counties that are not advocated for by the more urban counties, and that lack of unanimity puts us rural counties at a significant disadvantage in many cases. I'm not saying that I have necessarily a fix for that, but it had to be mentioned, I felt.
Yeah, that's understandable. It does present challenges. One of the things I was able to work with this year with the Association of Counties where they came extremely valuable was the pushback against the governor's office wanting to require counties to take the overflow from the state hospital, not guarantee funding to do it, and not indemnify us against the liability for a lawsuit they've been under since 2003 for violating people's constitutional rights to expedient justice. All 36 counties opposed. The Association of Counties kept us cohesive. They reviewed the articles that multiple of us wrote to make sure they were accurate and effective across the state, and appreciating them for that. It was an interesting moment where we did have unanimity and stood against 3 state ultimatums, and the state had to back down every time. Unfortunately, the state wasted 7 months of everyone's time, but we got there. So,
Thank you for that work, Mr. Chair.
fun stuff. Comments from the public? Still? Oh, thank you. We all did it. It was every commissioner. So, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. We're getting closer to the fun one. So, we have a request for direction to council regarding property management of the Coos Bay Wagon Road lands by the Coquel Indian Tribe. I believe it's a collaborative management.
Yes, I think I'm taking this one.
Right.
There is a proposal that would benefit the county hugely if we could transfer management, this requires federal legislation, of the Wagon Road lands away from the BLM to the Bureau of Indian Affairs, who would then let or rely on the Coquel tribe to manage the land. This is something that we approached the tribe about. Drew brought it up in his campaign and has worked with them since that time. The President of the United States gave an executive order to the timber management organizations, the U.S. Forest Service and the BLM, or actually he goes through the departments, the Department of Interior and the Department of Agriculture, where those bureaus are housed, to increase timber production and to use the tribes to do that. The Coquel tribe picked up on that, came to us, and they said, would you be interested, or would you be supportive if we tried to get management away from the BLM? And they came to me, I said, yes, but that is a decision that would have to be approved by the full board of commissioners. So they started doing their homework. We've tried this in times past. They were upfront about saying that we will absolutely keep the lands open to the public. There'll be times, of course, when there are logging operations, they would not be able to do that. They proposed that we would end up with about 50% or 50% of the net revenues. This really advantages us. Number one, we don't own the Wagon Road lands. What we get from them are payments in lieu of taxes. And these tax payments are calculated the same way tax payments would be calculated on privately owned timberlands. And they are very beneficial to the owners of those lands and not very beneficial to the agencies like the county that depends on revenue from those lands. This would likely increase our revenues from the lands of a minimum of 3 times what we are currently getting. I want to switch to another subject here momentarily. This is good news for us if we could have this happen. Rod has been instrumental in working with the Association of Oregon and California Railroad Lands, and they have been able to get the BLM to increase the harvest on those lands, as well as to increase the share of the harvest proceeds that the counties get from 50% to 75%. Together, these two events could be very, very meaningful to the finances of our county. The tribe has a huge advantage over the county in terms of making this happen. The Bureau of Indian Affairs is a part of the Department of Interior. BLM is a part of the Department of Interior. It's much easier to transfer management from one department to another inside that department rather than to transfer it out to perhaps the county. We've tried that, incidentally, and unsuccessfully. You have to keep in mind that we're a population of about 65,000 people, clear across the country from the nation's capital, and the tribe is represented, the local tribe is represented by the Bureau of Indian Affairs, which is a very influential bureau in Washington, D.C. They also have an advantage in that they have in place with the Bureau of Indian Affairs already a forest management plan for the lands they currently manage. We would have to start from scratch to create a forest management plan. I think that would be wrought with controversy and a very expensive and drawn-out program. Colton, have I missed anything there?
No, I don't think so.
So the
I mean, the main point that I think gets lost a lot of times is that this is changing the formula in which we are paid. So we're going from payment in lieu of taxes, which at most is $300,000, to a 50% split of the revenue from the timber harvest,
Right.
which you estimate is going to be at least 3 times what we're getting through
Yes.
taxes. So.
and that's the minimum, I believe. Now, you can't guarantee harvest, you can't guarantee timber prices, so there's a lot of ground, and there's still a lot of ground to be covered to get this. It has to be approved by the Congress, and then a management plan has to be put together. It'll take a while. This isn't something that's going to happen overnight. But the motion is, and I'll make it, I would move that we direct Council's office to, 1, work with U.S. Representative Val Hoyle on the draft legislation that would grant the tribe management rights to the Coos Bay Wagon Road lands, and 2, develop a contract with the tribe to protect the county's interests as a statutory beneficiary. So that's my motion.
Second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the other 2 commissioners for their work on advancing this proposal. It is not, I don't think that it's in its final form what we would ideally like to see as a county. I, for one, would like to see some modifications that I'll speak to in just a moment. But overall, I want to reiterate the point that Commissioner Sweet made, that this
There's an exception for
we
munchkins.
already have a disagreement. I haven't even made the point yet.
Yay or nay?
That was a nay.
That this will be a fast track resolution to a portion of our revenue problems in the county, particularly salient at a time when, we rely largely upon our county-owned forest land, 17,500 acres that the county does own and manage. And that has been, over the years, a significant assist to our general fund revenues. However, those revenues from our forest lands are going to be attriting. They're going to be diminishing significantly this next year and for the foreseeable, I would say, next 10 to 15 years, as we rebuild our forest inventory, the way that land was acquired and planted prior to the county's acquisition, predicated a situation where a preponderance of harvest needed to happen in a narrow window in order to avoid some of that timber moving into phases where harvest became more of a challenge. So consequently, we're going to be in desperate need of additional revenues, and this Coos Bay Wagon Road land harvest arrangement that we're speaking of with the Coquel tribe is one vehicle by which we can minimize the impact of that forest land or that county forest land revenue reduction. So, with the caveat that I would, in our negotiations, we do want to make some adjustments to the distribution formula that we finalize in our contract. We do want to be sure that we're entering in a contract that establishes a truly equitable situation where the motivations are are good and where it's sincerely and perpetually mutually beneficial to the parties. That's the best kind of business to be done, where everybody comes away from the table with a smile that we got a good deal. And so, so with that, I'm going to indicate that I do intend to support this motion.
John, did you have more to say? Or?
Yeah, just two things. Really, the motion is to enter into negotiations with the tribe and with Val Hoyle
Yeah.
to make sure that the legislation, the federal legislation, as well as the agreement between the tribe and the county are mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're talking about. I wanted to clear up one little thing. Rod did a great job of explaining that our revenues from our county forest are dropping. We have always, as long as I've been here and sometime before that, managed that forest on a sustained yield basis. We sell harvest rights to 350 acres per year. And it doesn't, now the buyer has 3 years in which to complete the harvest. So more acres than that might be harvested 1 year and less the following year. But it's absolutely on a sustained yield management plan. The problem is that in order to avoid letting the timber grow into an old growth status, which would mean we couldn't harvest it for fear of harming endangered species, we had to drop down to about a 45-year rotation. And because of when the forest was planted, we have generally, up till about now, been harvesting 60 and 70-year-old timber. But we're going to start harvesting 45-year-old timber. And of course, there'll be less volume per acre coming off that. We've been trying to grow the county forest. We have indeed grown it from 15,000 acres to 17,500 acres to help offset that revenue reduction. So that's kind of a digression, but I wanted to make sure that people that we're absolutely on a sustained yield harvest with the forest.
Mm-hmm.
So, did I make a motion, or did I just say I
The
would?
motion's on the table.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So-
Thank you.
For my part of it, a lot has been covered, and again, thank you, Rod, for your work with the AOCC. We've got bipartisan support on this one right now. Val Hoyle isn't alone. She's working with Congressman Bentz out of Eastern Oregon. He's, I think, Oregon's only Republican congressman.
Right.
And there's benefits. There's easy arguments in favor of it, I think, no matter which side of the fence you're on or if you're down the middle. If you're looking at it from the preservation side, we're working with an indigenous tribe to this area who already has a highly effective and regarded timber management plan for the land they have. We will be collaborating on a harvest that will be sustainable, and they know what they're doing to keep the forest healthy. And this gets the forest out of federal hands, which have clearly demonstrated they don't know how to keep forests healthy. From the other side, obviously, the president said to do it. It's in his executive order earlier this year, amongst other things, to work with tribes because they have better access to making these harvests.
Last year.
Last year. I'm sorry, it's 2026 now. Time flies with a munchkin. And for those of us down the middle, it means houses and jobs. People will be able to feed their families. They'll have living wage jobs. And we can make more progress to get out of the slump we're in as a county, not only from the county's budget standpoint, but from the consequences of the death knell of the timber industry in the early 1990s. And of course, as we already know, around impacts on public health, the economy is a key feature. You can draw a direct line with timber going down and drugs going up in Coos County. Early 90s, timber dies. Late 90s, meth is up. And it is what it is. People find a new economy. And this is a better option, obviously, than that method of economy. Public comments. I had my head this way, so Rob was the first I saw. And then I'll just keep moving this way. And you got an advantage. I haven't hit the timer yet.
You know what? I prefer to stand.
Good for your legs. You ready?
That's great. Yeah.
Kick it.
Rob Taylor from Bandon, Oregon. Not to be confused with Rob Taylor, the commissioner. It seems like we get that all the time. I get accused of being too loud,
I'll
and then
let you
all of a
start
sudden, yeah. Okay. Boy, guys, we've been fighting this a long time. John, you're the senior guy on this. You've been doing this for quite a while, and we've been battling over this for a long time. And what has changed? Policy has changed. Policy has changed because leadership has changed. Policy has been made better, has given the county a little bit more footing against the feds and the Indian tribes who seem to have preference in certain legal situations, and I think this may give us a benefit. You know, I've been fighting against this for a long time, but now that the policies have changed, now that the agreements are a little bit better for the county, let's cut some freaking trees down. Have a nice day.
Yeah, I'm good.
Thanks,
you.
Rob.
And moving this way. Bill, I thought you had your hand up. You want to talk? Or, there we are. You're up.
Phil Thompson, Coos Bay. Well, the first thing I'd like to say is, John, you really let me down. This is the third time you've made an attempt to take our lands and manage with the Coquille tribe. Now, I've got nothing against the Coquille Indian tribe, but them lands belong to everybody in this country. If they can log them and give us half or whatever, why don't we go for the whole thing? If you're going to sell us out for a half of what we should get, that's what I'm looking at. And as far as most of these people probably don't remember, Rob said it's been a long time, it has. But the first vote we had should be rescinded before you guys start talking to the tribes. And that was 85% of the people that voted that time on that part said no. We do not want to partner with the tribe. And then twice you've tried to get it up. And once they haven't been, it hasn't been 2 years. You couldn't get a vote with your commissioners. I think that before you do anything, all three of you should look at putting it back on the ballot and see if the people of Coos County want it. Okay?
Thank you.
I thank you guys.
All right. And keeping going. Red card. There we are. Sorry. I don't have my glasses on, so even if I know you, I'm not going to know you. Gary. Cool, I do know you.
Gary Haga, North Bend. This seems like probably the only proposal on the table, so I guess I'll have to agree with letting the Indians manage it. Although I think that their management costs are too high, they should be able to do it for at least maybe a quarter and not half. And secondly, I'm just sorry that our county forestry didn't or couldn't manage these lands. We have an excellent forestry department, and would have been great if they would have been allowed to manage these forests. So I guess I support the project because it looks like the only way we're going to get anything to cut. So thank you. Thank you, Gary.
I appreciate everybody keeping this in the time frame so far. Who do we have next? Okay, I was just kind of making my way this way. Did we?
Danessa had her hand up from the beginning.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, Chris, I can recognize you at a distance by the beard. You got a nice white flare for me.
I'm Chris Castleman, conservative from Coos County. I talked with John about this. I just wanted to bring it up to the other two and then to anybody else in the room. If you like this idea, present it to you guys. Contract negotiations, when you're starting them out, please don't just do 50-50. Like throw out a better number like 30-70 or 80-20 or 90-10. And if we want to structure it a little different, you could say like, hey, we're going to put 40% in the general fund, 30% to the sheriff's office, and then the Native Americans get 30%, something like that. So just start negotiations from a different point is my suggestion. And again, if people in the room like that, please email your commissioners, and let's start at a better point than 50-50. Thank you.
Let me just address that for a moment with Chris. Chris, there are no presumptions on what the contract basis is going to be, and there are creative solutions being explored.
Thank you. Cool. I did say I'm going this way. I understand Danessa's on my right, but there you are. No, they already let me know.
Hi, I'm Danessa Rains from Myrtle Point, also a timber owner. So I have a couple questions. When the tribes buy land, does that take it away from our tax base?
Two answers. Number one, they're not buying it. They will
No, that's not what I meant.
If you could ask the questions and then afterwards,
Okay.
I think we'll do the answers. I don't
Okay.
want to cut into your time.
Okay. If the tribe were to just go buy any land in Coos County with money, does that take it away from the tax roll? Not the wagon lands. I know those are public. So that's one question. The other one is when you enrich a tribe, which, by the way, if you look at Orstar, that's the campaign finance, you'll find a lot of people have been lobbied by the tribes to have more enrichment, okay? So if you give them a whole bunch of money and they buy our lands and they take away from our tax base, that's what I'm getting to. So, and I would like to know how much land in Coos County is owned by the tribes and how much of a tax base that's taken away. Far as the other thing, far as the contract negotiation, when you have someone that manages things outside, if we have any oversight in the management of that a bit, especially when it comes to local truck driving companies, local logging companies, we need to keep that here locally. And also, as far as the mills being, the logs being processed, we need to have some teeth in that so we can keep the dollars in our community and not go outside. Those are some things that I can think of because we don't want it to be a negative. Because if they control those contracts and they bring in someone from outside of our area, that's only going to hurt our local economy here. And we already have a problem with processing logs because we don't have the capacity to the mills are just not there. Or
If we can complete our thought.
yes, so basically we need to have some numbers about logging, far as processing here, if we have the capacity to do it, because we haven't had the sustainability. I know the GP mill was looked at site in Coos Bay to put it back on the map. Actually, my dad looked into that, but the problem, there wasn't enough logs. There wasn't logs.
We'll want to carry on, but if you send us a full list of questions, that might be easiest.
Okay,
And now
sorry
I'm
to
gonna get it
interrupt
to
you, John.
To my knowledge, that if the tribe were to acquire private lands, and Colton, you should correct me on this if I'm wrong, they would not be taxed. But I don't know that for sure. To my knowledge, they haven't bought any private land.
I would qualify that by saying the Coos Bay Wagon Road lands aren't taxed and haven't ever been taxed because they belong to the federal government. What we get is a payment in lieu of taxes, which is designed to compensate us for the tax revenue we would get if we could tax them. But it's the federal government, so we can't. So it's a sort of this you know.
I hear a
payment
bunch of
in lieu.
land's been bought behind Ocean Boulevard back there by the
think I
Confederate
know
tribes.
what you're
I want to know if that
talking
was
about.
taken away from tax dollars.
That's a separate matter that might be good to talk to the assessor about. They would be
But
able to
it's
take-
tied. It's tied. If you're going to turn around and give them a bunch of business that they make money off of,
The time is.
and then
up.
they buy land.
Right. Thank you. Did we have more comment? We do not. We have a motion and a second on the table. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. And here we go.
Hey, do you want to go to?
Oh, yeah, go to.
Let's finish our
We'll
late
do
agenda
the
item.
late, because this part might take a minute. So that is the request to approve, and I believe it was an IGA with OHCS to implement the Middle Income Revolving Loan Fund to promote the development of housing tailored towards folks in that 80% of area median income to 120% of median income, which is the missing middle housing. Not too high, not too low.
Yeah.
And saw Nicole, she might be able to,
Yeah.
and Colton probably has.
Before we get into that, Mr. Chair, may I, well, actually, I'm sorry. I'll hold on my comment at this time. If you want to, well, I don't want, actually, I do want to make a motion
Yeah.
here. And so I don't want to be necessarily out of order or prematurely cut off a discussion, but there have been some concerns raised
Yeah.
that I think warrant additional investigation and due diligence on the part of county council. And so my motion is actually going to be,
We might bring the staff up to explain it and they can address your concerns and then make a motion.
yeah, well, we could approach it that way. I suppose.
Okay. Colton, do you have input, or Nicole? I think I saw you. There
Yeah,
we are.
she's there.
That's clear. I don't know if we have Stephanie Hadley or anybody here with us. Okay, they left you on your own.
Well, I'll just sort of lead the discussion. I mean, we had a public meeting about this recently where, we introduced the idea. This is a very new program that the state is pursuing and is potentially going to be amended during this legislative session, so there could be some changes. But it's a situation where Tillamook County and Coos County are leading the charge on this new program, and that's pretty unusual. Usually we're able to look to, the larger counties, Multnomah, Washington, Clackamas, for examples to follow. We don't have that luxury here. We're really on the cutting edge. And I just want to make sure that, we've heard fully from our staff who will be administering the county's portion of this program. At our public meeting, we had some technical difficulties. We weren't really able to hear from Megan Sims and Jason Corbis, so I want to make sure that they're able to chime in. And then, to be honest, I just haven't had a chance to really review the IGA that we'd be signing with OHCS. And there's some parts of it that a little nerve-wracking. It's a long-term commitment with no unilateral rights to terminate from the county's perspective, so we'd be locked in. It isn't necessarily a bad thing if what we're being asked to do isn't all that much. So I just feel like at this point
There's some unknowns.
there's some unknowns, and I think it would be good to look into it a little bit more, while also recognizing that there are some time-sensitive parts to this for the city, looking to get going on this pretty quickly. So I guess I'd be looking to table it,
Yeah.
but not too long.
So at this juncture, not to cut off discussion, Mr. Chair, but my motion will be to table this approval of the IGA with OHCS until this further review has been conducted.
I'll second that for discussion.
We have a motion and a second.
So what is our timeline?
I assume this is still on. Yes.
So we have an interested party already who would like to kind of walk this program with us. Again, thank you. It is new. We are out in front of this early because we recognize there's a shortage in that kind of missing middle housing. Affordable housing gets lifts from both federal and state funds to help kind of subsidize the building of that. And then market rate housing, you know, the market drives that. That's what we get built on a regular basis. So this missing piece is what the folks in this room are accessing for the most part across the county. This is what we are missing building on a regular basis. And it doesn't get built because it doesn't have the same profit motive. So if there's a way we can kind of help encourage building homes for the folks who work in our communities, that's kind of what the city's goal is. So while we have someone in the hopper who's interested in this, I absolutely appreciate you taking the time to make sure your team is comfortable with this and that you are comfortable with this, because we certainly don't want to have to backstep something, right? So absolutely take the time you need. It is, of course, we're hoping to have this stood up as we see this short session close. There will be some amendments. They are minor. We don't expect them to be necessarily impactful to the role that the county would have. But as you know, those changes can be made live while the session is in place. So what we know today, maybe that's being proposed, could be different. So even, you know, seeing how that ends up is appropriate as well.
I think I heard it was okay to delay for 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you for your response on that question yesterday. I'm sorry I didn't reply to your email.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
And for my part, because of the nature of this meeting and the high attention, I already know there's going to be people from the state watching, so I'm going to take a moment that I can stand on a log and be mad at them. One of the troubles I have dealing with the state and having any uncertainty in a contract at this point is during this last legislative session, they lied to the Association of Counties repeatedly, and staff there lied to me repeatedly, and I am slightly pissed about it. They brought forward something that was around homelessness. It was requiring 24/7 shelters, so the Association of Counties indicated that's not going to work for the counties that have fewer people than Lakeside, let alone counties the size of ours would still be a challenge. So they promised they would change that, get the Association of Counties support. They gave it. I didn't vote for it because I didn't trust them. And sure enough, they did not do what they said. They did not follow their promise. They've accused counties and cities of not doing enough around housing in meetings I've been in, and I have reminded them that when I was on the council for Coos Bay, we surplused any land we could find that was able to be surplused on the conditions that developers build the units we needed within the time frame we wanted. And they received the land if they met that. When the governor took office, she passed an executive order that was similar to that. I had suggested it to her transition team, and they left out the entirety of rural Oregon. I had to fight them for a year to get them to do the study, and when they did it, they wanted, was it tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars for their properties to surplus? I feel like it was hundreds of thousands, whereas the city, with our limited means at that time, more than matched their commitment. Let's see. Yeah, I can go on and on. Obviously, they took a gut and stuff in this last session when the transportation bill failed, tried to surprise us on 3 hours' notice. They didn't know it was county college, so 20 commissioners voted over and they beat themselves a little. Yeah, I don't trust the state. So delaying 2 weeks is good for me. Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Right, motion passes.
Thank you.
I trust the city.
Yeah, I trust the city. And I like our local people for OHCS. It's just when the state people I don't know show up, they do funny things. And then we had one last late agenda item that was going to be, oh, there we are.
You have Lisa here.
Yep, Lisa.
Good morning, commissioners.
Morning, Lisa.
How are you guys today? Good. I'm here today on behalf of our Coos County Fair and Rodeo to ask your approval and purchase of a 2020 Cushman Holler 1200 and a 2020 Cushman Shuttle 6 in the amount of $13,500 from Guild Golf Carts.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the purchase of 2020 Cushman Hauler 1200 and a 2020 Cushman Shuttle 6 in the amount of $13,500 from Guild Golf Carts.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion?
I would like to point out to those in the audience that our fair is completely self-funded. It doesn't look to any general fund, county money, any tax dollars. Supported heavily by the community, both in terms of in-kind donations, cash donations, and people like Gary Haga, who was here a moment ago, who practically devotes 40 hours a week to working there, he and his crew, and they've done a lot with it. So, but at any rate, this all comes from the fair itself. No tax dollars are used, and these are very important little vehicles because a lot of the parking in the fair is up on the school level, and you got the hill to go down and then back up, and a lot of people need help. So this is that help.
Yeah, and Mr. Chair, I would add on to Commissioner Sweet's comments that $13,500 is a capital investment in an asset that's going to provide that transportation in lieu of a contracted service that we had used in years past that cost nearly that much. As I recall, it was around $10,000 a year. And so this is a phenomenal value to make this capital investment and will be a long-term benefit to the financial assets and prospects of the fair.
Gary, if I'd known you were here, I would not have said anything nice about you.
I appreciate people pointing that way so I know where he's at.
Yeah, and let me, please, if I may, Mr. Chair, a little off topic, also pivot off of Commissioner Sweet's comments regarding all of the volunteers that put in their valuable time at the fair, like Gary, like Jason, like Bob, like Keith, and there are others as well. Our newest Fair Board member Dwayne. These guys put in literally some weeks it is 40 hours. I would say over the course of the year, there is no doubt it's many hundreds of hours absolutely free out of the goodness of their hearts and at their own personal expense for travel expense to drive from North Bend to Myrtle Point all those days. Unbelievable community contribution spirit, and I just want to take this broadly attended opportunity to thank you all publicly for what you do.
Getting to know
I don't
the
know how to
operations of the
open
fair
a
and all
new
the volunteers there. It is an incredible machine.
PowerPoint presentation.
If we had more people committed to the extent these folks show, we would be a very different county, I believe.
Yeah.
Still fighting with the state, but a very different county. On the last one, I forgot public comments. I apologize for that. For
So
this
then
one, do we have
PowerPoint,
public
that I
comments?
want to open, I want to start a new one. I can't see the place to do it.
Anyone want to
I don't know
comment
why
on the
I'm
last
losing my
thing?
mind today, but I am.
We do not. Awesome. Call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And now we're on to the good stuff.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Lisa.
Discussion regarding liabilities of Coos Health and Wellness featured partnership status for
Oh,
the
boy.
event, which is
Can you,
Mr. Chair, thank you.
you just have all this shit up here, it's just
So
disappeared.
this is regarding
So-
the Coos Health and Wellness sponsorship, specifically in the form of providing free
I don't know why.
cocktails at the Not a
I
Phase
thought I lost my mind.
to be held on February 14th at the Pony Village.
So there's news right there.
Thank you.
So
Just studying to
this
debate the Coos Health
topic
and Wellness
came to
thing
my
too.
attention because I saw a flyer, and my first concern was that
Can you send me
we
the
could
link
encounter
to that?
different types of activities potentially as a county, sponsoring
This is,
specialized.
wait, I have
events.
information downstairs on the
And
phone
then
thing.
when
But if-
dug in
It's
a
so
little bit
complicated,
farther
Craig.
and found
You can
that
either look and do a
we were
GoToMeeting
intending
thing,
to
which you
send,
can't do on your
serve
phone.
mocktails at the event. That was
sent to you
really
by text, right?
a pretty grave
The
concern
link
as
to
well.
go
So my
that text, but I
my
can't
view
send.
here is that there are certain applications of public funds, taxpayer funds that are appropriate and others that are not. And so in the same vein that we would not use county funds to support or sponsor a special event for a Christian high school or a group of
Here's
white supremacists.
phone number
or
and then the access code to use.
African Americans.
For the phone.
Back in the
Anybody
joint
else
Yeah.
who's a
session.
particularly
Thank you.
self-identified group or whatever, that that's not an appropriate role for government funds. That our taxpayer funds should be spent in ways that are equally inclusively applicable to all residents of the county. And so that's the basis on which I brought this forward. And so my motion is to discuss the potential legal and moral liabilities for Coos County due to potential adult predator activity at an all-ages nighttime event, whether mocktails are an effective deterrent to underage drinking, and to direct CHW staff to retract the partnership of the event.
There are two parts in the action I would like some clarity around. You cite moral liabilities. Could you clarify around that?
Yeah, so, I mean, really, on reflection, I'm not sure that that should have been included in my requested action.
Hey, no. We're not doing that. Okay.
So, I mean, in the reality is that if we witnessed say a high school prom where random adults who didn't have an affiliation with the high school came in and started hanging out at the dance with the youth, we would find that unusual, at least, and concerning, possibly. And so in the same vein, I see that something identified as a prom that then is specifically targeted toward all ages has a potential for moral question. And so, and I'm not saying that the county should be the dictator of morals or free speech or free exercise within the law. That's not what I'm saying at all, and I am not, let me make it clear, I am not opposing this group's freedom to conduct their event, okay? What I'm saying is that the expenditure of taxpayer funds on an event like this is as inappropriate as it would be if the event were conducted by any other self-identified special group.
Okay, so the opposition is centering around an event targeted at a specific group.
Yes, and more specifically, to speak to your moral liabilities question, the moral liabilities that I speak of is the apparent impropriety of mixing adults with children at an event that's titled a prom.
Okay.
Because a prom is culturally significant, probably to everybody in the room, as having been something where, where youth go once a year, once in their lifetime, really, usually, to participate in an event with their peers that is celebratory and involves dancing, and obviously there are romantically involved people who attend these events, and to mix adults without any mention of any oversight in that kind of event seems to me inappropriate.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by moral liabilities.
All righty. Yeah, it sounds like your motion was for the purposes of discussing your concerns.
Well, and additionally, to direct CHW staff to retract partnership for the event.
Okay. I want to have a public discussion on the matter, but that's not something I'm going to second. I think the discussion is more important than pre-assuming that it'll be a retraction.
I'd like to hear from everyone before I make a second or not.
Well,
Okay.
well,
Still leave the motion open.
okay, so without a second, the motion cannot proceed to discussion.
Okay. John, do you have a different motion you would
Okay,
propose?
I'll second it for
I
discussion.
guess we have to vote.
I'll
No, no, okay,
I'll
yeah.
second it for discussion purposes.
All
There
right.
you go.
Discussion purposes. All righty, we have a motion and a second. Discussion amongst the commission. Do you have anything further, or?
Well, I've said quite a bit already.
Yeah, we'll get two more.
I would be, interested to hear the input of my fellows.
Yeah. John?
I'm more interested in hearing from the public.
Okay. I'll note some parts. I went through some due diligence on the matter, contacted the folks organizing to gain more information, our staff as well. This is an event that was sponsored last year and had no issues. Regarding specific population, that's going to lead to a broader discussion because there are more events that we fund with this money that involve specific populations that are not necessarily open to the public. So we would have to discuss how we expend money more broadly. With the open age, that concerned me as well. I was very concerned about seeing open age until I talked with folks and learned that is to allow for chaperones, which is the same system at the prom, general prom. But also,
Elaborate on that a bit, please.
because it's all ages, parents can come with the youth. So if the parents so choose, they would accompany their youth to the event to ensure nothing weird happened, the same way parents can attend prom at a high school. This funding ensures that Coos Health and Wellness staff will be on site, who are mandatory reporters as well. So if the concern is around safety, this ensures we are putting more personnel in that location to ensure safety. Additionally, well, I had additionally, and then my thought died of loneliness. Yeah, we'll go to.
I have another friend that I could throw at your lonely idea.
Thank you.
Momentarily, that I did want to visit while the floor is still here.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is speaking specifically to the topic of mocktails and their efficacy in the discouragement of underage drinking. Cursory research that I conducted indicated that there is an emerging preponderance of psychological opinion or opinion among psychologists that mocktails are not, in fact, an effective deterrent to underage drinking. And I came across this article from National Public Radio that, let me find my first page here. So this articulates in the view of a where is her name? Dr. Molly Bowdring, a clinical psychologist and researcher at the Stanford Prevention Research Center. She co-authored an opinion piece in the JAMA Pediatrics, where she says that there are so many cues in non-alcoholic beverages that mirror the alcoholic counterpart, like how they taste and smell, and they provide a cultural experience that is remonstrative or similar to drinking a cocktail from a fancy glass. This is akin to the candy cigarettes debate. Do we believe that if we gave children candy cigarettes, that would be a deterrent to cigarette smoking? No. I mean, I can speak to my own experience there. You know, candy cigarettes were common when I was a kid, and what did I do? I went right to cigarettes as soon as I could, which I don't smoke anymore, by the way. But anyway, so this is also demonstrated in the fact that in the case of tobacco, we had tobacco use that was declining among recent generations, and then we've had this huge marketing push for vaping, which has actually bumped the smoking numbers back up. So, and finally, in this article of relevance, I believe, is the comments of the head of the Adult Non-Alcoholic Beverage Association. Now, I was stunned to find that there is such an association, but in fact there is. And Marcos Salazar, the head of that association, agrees that kids should not be drinking mocktail non-alcoholic beverages. This is a guy who supports the industry. So, in fact, I discovered that there's a store in Massachusetts that sells only non-alcoholic beverages. That's their specialty. And they have 153 brands or something like that.
Wow.
Who knew? But the head of that association says that that young adults or young youth under the age of 18 should not be drinking mocktails for those previously stated reasons.
I appreciate the depth of your research on the public health aspect.
Thank you.
Let's see. That wasn't a joke. We'll go to staff now. I saw a small hand wave. I'm sorry, county staff. Do we still have Coos Health and Wellness in the building to speak on the matter?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. And there's, just to brace folks, there's probably going to be a lot of discussion with the commission, and then yourselves, and then the commission. So this one's going to, as orderly as possible.
Okay.
Doctors. Mike?
Commissioners? I'd like to start with the letter presented by Dr. Dean Seidinger from OHA. He couldn't be here, but he did submit a letter, and I believe all of you have a copy of that. It says in there, basically, Coos Health and Wellness receives grant funds from OHA to implement prevention program, which this is, using certain strategies, which are designed to reach both general population and groups at increased risk for substance use, which the LGBTQ population is. OHA monitors local program activities through regular reporting and performance measures. We are reviewed to make sure that they are aligned with established prevention frameworks and evidence-based approaches. Our work plan has been reviewed and is approved and is being implemented in accordance with these requirements. One component of this work includes providing appealing alcohol-free alternatives such as mocktails at community events to spark conversation about the risks of excess drinking. So basically, what it is saying is we get a lot of our guidance and direction from OHA, and we sign a contract to do that type of work. They provide oversight and strategies that we can pick from, which we have when we created our work plan. So as saying if the funds are inappropriate, obviously they are appropriate because the state gave us those funds and they said it was okay to do that. It is approved.
Do we have a dollar amount on what we've sponsored?
For this particular event, we have not spent any money yet because we are going to provide beverages, which we haven't purchased yet. My understanding is the budget for each event is about $200.
Yeah, it's
So-
not very large.
so-
We're spending big.
This is an outreach event. Okay, that's what prevention does. They do a lot of outreach, and the methodology is efficient. The opposite of outreach, so we go out in the community to talk to people in the community, is to have them come into us. And how many people would we reach if we just let people come to us? It doesn't work that way, right? We have to go out to them. And even if we do go out in the community, where do we find a group of people that are of the same population? Well, we may be able to find them at the supermarket or the movie, but more than likely inefficient. If they have an event where they're all gonna be, that's where we try to partner with them and go to, so that we can speak to them about these issues.
Prioritizing particular populations at a higher risk.
Exactly. And so this would happen with the veterans. We've had veterans events, children's, we go to schools, older adults. We have cafes for older adults. So it goes on and on and on. But we go out in the community and we sponsor an event for a certain population.
And to cover, I had asked what some of the other events we sponsor are with this same funding stream. So other events we sponsor with the same funding stream include events at schools, the fair, which big money, $200, but we do it. Family Fun Day, 4th of July events at parks, National Night Out, at the theaters, we do use it. Pride in the Park, this, last year and potentially this year. Mocktail competitions at the Coos Bay Library. And I think when we get into discussions of targeted populations or restricted populations as far as whether or not we have full community access to our outreach point or specified population access to our outreach point, that is one of the larger implications of the decision. Because it is logical that we want to reach out to a school and keep them not drunk. But it is a specific population. So we don't want to create a restriction or a precedence where we restrict something and limit our ability to reach out to other populations as well. Just like the elderly adult event. We want to help elderly adults be sober, but that is a very specific population. So that is another fiscal discussion that it could be useful to have. But in this matter, we don't want to set a precedence half-cocked, I think.
As for the mocktails and the underage drinking deterrent, the mocktails is just one
I would be in
member.
favor of changing the name, maybe.
Well, I will say that I found out that mocktails is an older term and actually gained popularity in Prohibition. So it's not new. It is a fairly old term. It has gained popularity with the recent events like Sober January and October, I believe, is another month where they do that. Anyway, it isn't necessarily meant as a deterrent, especially for younger children. The whole mocktail as part of the entire campaign is really for the entire span of life. And so the mocktail has also been used for designated drivers, right? They call that the Hero Martini or Hero-tini. You can go out with your friends as a designated driver and you get the mocktail where everyone else gets other drinks. So really, it isn't geared specifically, and it isn't necessarily made for prevention of children drinking, but it is an important part of the entire program. So think of it like in a football team, this is an offensive lineman like a guard, okay? He may get some highlight reel if he does a really good job. More than likely, though, he won't. And he's a solid player, he does his thing, but without him, your chances of winning are low. And so really, he is important, like mocktails is important to the entire program. It's not an end-all, be-all single program.
And if I can add, Mike.
Yeah.
So the mocktail concept is to go out and meet our population where they are.
Mike,
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Excuse me, doctor, come on over. It's to meet our population
You're welcome,
where they
doctor.
are, and it's to start the conversation. It's to be that pinnacle that individuals can have around that. And that gets over the stigma of alcohol use and substance use. And that's an opportunity for that conversation to start. So it has been successful by OHA and their standards. We were in this room just a week ago to review public health and our programs. We had OHA come and give an evaluation that took several months to go through. And they spoke very highly of our program and found nothing wrong with our prevention systems and how we go out and connect with our population. So I just want to remind the commissioners that we are looking out for the entire population, everybody that's in our county, and that is our focus.
I think we can all agree that alcohol use is a pretty massive community norm, right? That it's embedded deeply in our social lives. That for the vast majority of people that go out and hang out, the Super Bowl is on Sunday. There's going to be beer. I take my family to dinner. My kids ask for a Shirley Temple, which is ostensibly a mocktail. But what we're trying to do deeply is change the community norms by expanding the visible and acceptable non-alcoholic use in social situations. This isn't to try to get them to use alcohol later. It's trying to show our youth and our teens and our adults that there are socially acceptable behaviors that aren't alcohol related, that we can have a good time, have a fun drink, and it not be something that's going to be a detriment to us when we leave or our long-term health. So ultimately what we're trying to do is just change the norm. And by this, we've been trying to do this in any possible situation that we have been invited to participate in or try to push participation for, like our mocktail competition that Wildflower won. And when you go there for dinner, you'll see the little plaque that they had for winning it, and they will serve that mocktail for you. And it's delicious, but it's not alcoholic, and it gives people options, especially those that do want to refrain from drinking.
In the off chance, are there any state staff here that wanted to speak? Thankfully not. Oh dear. Well, now they know my thoughts. Did one of the online state staff wish to speak on this matter? That feels like no.
Just the one hand up.
She's still moved.
Melinda Richardson.
Oh, I know her.
Oh,
she's public though, I think.
Correct, public.
Yeah. Okay. Any thoughts at the moment from commissioners? I'm going to keep coming back to us because
I'd like to weigh in a bit. This is a hot button topic, and I know what you did, what Coos Health and Wellness did was trying to meet what they're supposed to be doing, and I think it's great. But the information you put out was incomplete, and I spent a lot of time yesterday, and we have a lot of time here, and we have a lot of angst and bitter feelings about different things. And I think that the way you advertised this had a lot to do with it. I thought it was not much thinking involved. Now, the idea that a mocktail is a good thing for teaching people not to drink isn't necessarily universal. It's a punch with a swizzle stick in it, really. So why in the name of heaven did you refer to a cocktail?
sounds like it's standard practice, but it could be better. I agree.
Why did you do all ages? No mention of chaperones. It comes from the county. As far as if it comes from the county, most people think their local tax dollars are going in it. No mention made of that. You set this up, and it's created a firestorm. And that firestorm is likely to make this very same people that we were trying to serve feel not so good. Rod didn't help with the way he responded. And because of the great number of people that seem to disagree with your well-meaning intentions or the way you advertise them, they blame the county. And we have a hard time getting revenue items passed here. I mean, this, you set us back a ways. And Rod did too. We've got to somehow figure out how to bridge this gap. Think a little bit more about what you're putting out there, how it's going to look to someone that has no idea. Because I've had all kinds of calls until dang near 10 o'clock last night. I tried to respond to everyone. And people were angry. And they're angry with each other, and that needn't be the case. I think we have to be more thoughtful about, and I think it's very important to recognize that it's great to make OHA happy, but we also have our local citizens that we have to make happy. And I think we've failed in that. And again, I'll go back, Rod, I think you made things worse by the way you dealt with this. So I think what you did was well-meaning. I just think it was poorly put out there. And I don't blame parents. I would not have wanted my child to go to what might have been an unchaperoned, mixed age event that at which had a party, cocktail-like atmosphere with entertainment that I might or might not have agreed with. So what I'd like us to do is to work amongst the commissioners. We're all real sensitive to what everyone thinks of us. We like to think we're doing a good job. And you made it very hard, and you didn't help. So I think we need to have a sit down and talk about the importance of not only doing what we think is right, but how the information we put out looks to other people. And I can tell you, you knew what you were talking about. You knew exactly what was going to happen there. It looked one way to you. But boy, it sure didn't look that way to a lot of parents. So, I don't think any big damage is going to be done by having this event. But I don't want to have a repeat of this incident where we have one citizen pushed against the other, because this is a really hot button topic. And we should minimize what we do to create that environment. Thank you.
John, my understanding, and maybe Eric can weigh in, is we had nothing to do with the advertising.
Then we ought to make sure that we don't have anything. Either we need to control that or not have anything to do with the.
Right, we can do better in the future,
Yeah.
but
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah.
I'm 100% for you guys. You do great work. And it's a tough job. We got so many different, I mean, with the poverty we have, the need for public health and mental health is overwhelming. And all the different groups we have to deal with. I don't envy you your job, but we have to be more tuned in to the local political output. I mean, I think this is a setback in terms of trying to serve the population you were intending to serve, frankly, just because of the angst it has caused.
Commissioner, I can tell you that as the public information officer for Goose Health and Wellness, I've done everything I can to make sure that we have a steady keel and a wide grasp of what it is we should and shouldn't be dipping our toes in publicly. However, we did not know or have anything to do with the planning of the event itself. It's not our event. We have not sponsored this event. We have paid $0 toward this event. We are partnering with the event from a prevention standpoint. So from my side of it, from the public health or public information officer side, I didn't see the flyer until it came out, and that's on me.
Let's make it, this is why we don't need to hash this out in front of 100 people. We're wasting everyone's time. I just don't want to see this happen again.
I understand that completely. I focused, I think, more on the same event for that same day at the North Bend skating rink, the all-ages mocktail skating event, because it was a sponsorship with the city of North Bend. And I must have missed this at some point. I apologize for that.
Let's be more cautious in the future. You shouldn't be ice skating either.
I will
You're
not
too clumsy.
be. No, I will not be. I will break all of the bones.
And I hope it's known, I am an ally to the LGBTQ community, but it wasn't until 2 days ago at 10 p.m. talking to Melinda that I understood the chaperone part. Up to that point, I know I'm stupid,
there.
but that was a problem for me.
I've been specifically asked, are there chaperones? I didn't know whether there were or not. How are you screening to keep sex offenders from coming in there? That's where people's minds ended up going. And
well, we're going to get to comments next. Okay. So coming to public comments, I would like to alternate support and opposed.
Can I go?
Do we have a coin? Where to start?
support.
Start with support? All right, we'll start with support. Where do we have a supporter that, do we have a sign-up sheet?
That is support the motion as it is on the table at present.
I don't care.
Yeah, right? I mean, you just need to clarify. I don't care, I'm just.
The motion on the table was to delay the decision, I believe. What was the motion again?
To rescind the
No, there is a
support.
motion on the table in a second, and that is to
Oh, okay.
say yes
There-
or no
there
to
wasn't.
what the motion
Okay.
was.
So
But
if
we're
you are in
looking for further
support
input
of-
before we vote.
Yeah, if you are in support of rescinding our sponsorship to the event. That might be a little confusing, but that's the one. And, say again?
Repeat what you just said.
The motion on the table was, go for it.
So, what Chair Farmer has said is that we're going to alternate supporters versus opposition, and that is in reference to the motion as it rests on the table at present. So if you are in support of the motion to rescind the sponsorship by Coos Health and Wellness,
The sponsorship of the mocktails.
then you will be going first, and then if you are in opposition to the motion, you'll go second, and we'll alternate from there.
And that is rescinding the sponsorship of $200 for mocktails.
Which is not very much money.
No. And it was support of your motion going first, and I'm going to go right to left this time, so that puts Danessa. I remembered your name. In 2 minutes, so it's
All right, thank you.
a little abrupt.
Danessa Rains of Myrtle Point. First of all, Coos Health and Wellness did something really bad at the fair a couple years ago, bribing kids with bracelets. Well, you're bribing kids to come for mocktails. There's a security risk here. Do you have security and a breathalyzer at this event if that's what you're trying to stop. The other thing is, most movie theaters have a PG or R rating. So I'm okay with you having the event. Just take off the all ages, have an age limit. If you're going after prom kids that are 17 and older, that's what you need to say. If this is an educational event, it didn't say it was an educational event for prevention. It didn't have a mission. Wordsmithing. You know, you could have said non-alcoholic beverages. You could have said that instead of mocktails. You know, it's just wordsmithing. You know, I think of bombs when I think of mocktails. So that's my association. This is like a bribe to come to this event. And it was advertised very poorly. And if you lost control as being a sponsor, I think that's negligence. The other one is I'm a taxpayer, and you're responsible to make sure that they're responsible. And far as the youth are concerned, they targeted the youth with those bracelets at the fair, and they stopped it. And they're targeting young kids here by doing this, thinking it's all ages, but you're actually targeting young kids, allowing them to be there at a certain age and under, just because they're parents and you think there's going to be someone there to oversee this. It wasn't.
We're at 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you. I was going to let you finish your thought. And to clarify, again, this is a sponsorship of the $200 mocktails. I'm sorry.
We
It's
are
not a
not
sponsorship of
a
the event.
sponsor.
Yeah.
It is not our event. We are a vendor. Similarly, if we just brought tables.
Okay. So was there a miscommunication that we are a preferred sponsor then?
It was featured partner was the terminology.
Featured partner was the
Okay.
language, and that was up to the event
Gotcha.
organizer.
So that
was
comes
not
back
ours.
to maybe coordinating with our PIO on future flyers where we're involved. Okay. Supporter. I'm still going right to left. I see you.
Opposition.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay, I'm thinking supporter of the event. This is opposition to rescinding our $200 for mocktails. Right. Where do we go? All righty. Ma'am?
Mr. Chair, while she's coming up, may we revisit the audience participation in comments, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
So, as the commenters are speaking, we leave the floor silent so everyone can speak and be heard. That goes both ways. That's not one particular group. That's what we're going to do for everybody. Yep.
Good morning. My name is Erin West. I have been a teacher for 20 years, and 7 of those years have been at North Bend High School. I currently serve on the Regional Dignity and Belonging Council for the Southern Oregon Coast, and I have been the advisor for the GSA for the past 4 years. In the fall of 2024, North Bend School District asked students to complete a survey to identify strengths and weaknesses within our student body. I have given all of you a copy of one part of that survey. The number in the first column is the average percentage of students who responded with agree or strongly agree to each statement. From there, the columns show how the different demographics responded, with the score being compared to the average in the first column. For example, for statement number 5, 70.3% of students responded that they felt emotionally safe at school. For students who identified as non-binary, gender fluid, or trans, only 28.8% of those students said that they felt emotionally safe, 42.1% lower than the average. Looking at the data, you can see that this negative trend holds across every single category. At our weekly GSA meetings, students gather to create a community of support. They do crafts like painting and weaving, they sing karaoke, they play games, and sometimes they just talk. Students share celebrations, and they help each other with struggles. Most importantly, these youth gather to be in an environment where they can be themselves without fear of judgment or attack. Prom is a rite of passage that our youth deserve to experience without worry. Canceling this event or withdrawing partnership and support of this event would send the message to kids who already feel disenfranchised that their needs don't matter.
And we are at 2 minutes.
Supporting every child is our goal, and it should be our responsibility.
Could I get some clarification on this data?
Mm-hmm.
That looks really bad in terms of.
It does.
Even the, like.
Yeah.
I don't.
Even when you're looking at the average of every student,
Yeah.
the numbers are low.
That is really bad.
So this
Okay.
this is a survey
But
that was.
I didn't want to
oh, I'm sorry.
discuss it. I just
Okay.
wanted clarification because that looked horrifying.
It is horrifying.
Okay, we're going to in favor of not funding the $200 for mocktails. Doop, you're up. I'm going right to left, and that's what I'll keep doing.
My name is Ron Wiggins, and I basically heard about this, and I know it happened maybe a year ago, but the more it's a very hot button issue. Personally, I have been an advocate for individual responsibility always. At the same time, I realize that we have to work together with other people to accomplish good things. But this activity that is being promoted here with the flyer has nothing to do, in my view, with Coos Health and Wellness or Oregon Health Authority. And I personally believe that Oregon Health Authority is not doing a single thing for anybody's health, or the Coos Health and Wellness is doing anything for the county's residents for health and wellness. What makes the difference is the individual doing what's best for them and us promoting individuals to make better choices. I don't want my tax dollars, whether it's $200 or $2, supporting this kind of activity. Thank you.
You related to Janelle? Yes, I am. I went to high school with her. Cool. In favor of funding the $200 for mocktails. A new one. Opposition to the motion, in favor of the $200. I am going to skip ahead to Laura because I know she's the organizer.
Good morning. My name is Laura Ursig. I'm a resident of Coos County. I am the director of Southern Oregon Coast Pride. I am the person organizing this event. It is not a Coos Health and Wellness event. They are a featured partner. They are there to support what we're doing. I'm here today to ask you all to allow the partnership at our All Ages Prom to continue. When I look out at this room, I see a community that wants to be seen, understood, and valued, all of us. Indeed, that's why I'm here today and why many of those who came before me, like Marsha P. Johnson, I'm speaking up. There are a lot of people who support this event and this partnership, and I know that not everyone's going to have a chance to speak. If I may, if you're in support of Coos Health and Wellness sponsoring and that's what you want to speak to today, could you just raise your hand?
I made that easier.
Thanks. Pride organizes multiple events in our community that are multi-generational, and the concern over a liability of Coos Health and Wellness being a featured partner at our event strikes me as something not for a county commissioner meeting. but instead as a question one could have addressed directly to Coos Health and Wellness and our Pride organization. Had that been the case, you would have learned from me that our events have liability coverage through our fiscal sponsor, United Way of Southwestern Oregon. You would learn that we have volunteer conduct policies specifically to protect everyone involved, and that we have a de-escalation team that attends every event to help with all sorts of issues that arise when groups of people gather, like you need first aid, like panic attacks, like individuals behaving in ways that are unsafe. In the many years that we've been doing events in our community, there have only been a handful of times we've needed that team. But every time, they have responded quickly and with integrity. I ask that the county commissioners vote to approve Coos Health and Wellness's partnership with our It's Not a Phase prom. They are serving their community, as is their directive. Yes.
Thank you. You timed it good. You must have practiced. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Easy. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, may I interrupt for just a second? I'm Brett Cecil from Port Orford in Curry County.
This is if you're in favor of his motion to oppose.
Can I present a point of order to you, please?
No.
Could we maybe have a couple of chairs and have people be on deck for this? I don't move very fast, and I'm sitting in the back.
Is it okay if he sits with you?
Well, so my point, Mr. Chair, is if we have people on deck ready to come up and speak, we're not waiting for people to do the walking back and forth.
We're going to keep going as we're doing right now.
All right, just a suggestion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
In favor of the motion to not provide the $200 for mocktails? Come in. Yes, sir. Whoop. Hands are coming up late.
My name is Dennis Bowman. I live in Bandon. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a father of 9 kids that gone to school in Coos County. I just want to, I was an alcoholic till I was 38 years old. And reverting back, my parents used to drink Tom and Jerry's around the holidays, which is a battery you mix with hot water and rum.
What is it?
Tom and Jerry's. It's like a hot buttered rum mix.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, when I was a child, they were all sitting around doing that. Me and my brothers would mix it up and drink it without the alcohol in it. But it gave me a desire to taste it with the alcohol in it, which eventually led to my consuming alcohol. So I think anything that leads towards that type of thing, the county should not be paying any money for. Not my money, not any taxpayer's money.
Thank you. I'll note, separate from me assuming everyone's a taxpayer, I am assuming you're all residents of Coos County, and that is the core point. Whether or not, what was that? Oh, okay, good. Just making sure it's not an adult having an issue. So now, opposed to the motion and in favor of providing the $200 for the mocktails to the event. And I'm starting to feel guilty because if I keep doing that, we're not going to get to everybody. I'm just going to go to the center. You know it's random because I can barely see you.
That's okay, Drew. Good morning. My name is Dennis Smith. I'm parish associate at First Presbyterian Church in North Bend. I rise to oppose the motion and support the Pride Prom event. One thing that we have learned over the years is that churches need to be safe spaces where vulnerable groups, be they the unhoused, the hungry, migrants, or people from the LGBT community, can feel welcomed, be free of bullying, and celebrate their status as children of God. Growing up is hard, especially when you discover yourself to be different from the majority. That's why I support using public resources for the Pride Prom to help make it a vital and safe space. Where kids are figuring out their identity, they can celebrate who they know themselves to be in a properly supervised, healthy atmosphere instead of being forced into the shadows. I know the folks at Pride to be wise and mature people that are committed to the well-being of the whole community. And we as leaders of the faith community will continue to walk with them, seeking to de-escalate tensions, respectfully recognizing differences of opinion, and insisting that gender diversity is a gift to be celebrated, not condemned. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Easy. Calmly. Thank you. All right. Now, in favor of the motion, to oppose the funding. I'm going to start going left to right again. Yep, that makes you up.
I'm Teresa Avery from Bandon. And I appreciated the gentleman's statement about Coos Health and Wellness being for everybody. And this is my main concern, is that it does need to be for everybody. We had for a school year a young lady from Yemen who is Islamic staying with us. And I'm telling you, if she was here now and then she knew that Coos Health and Wellness was taking a side in an issue that's quite divisive in the whole country, and I were to say, oh, let's go to Coos Health and Wellness for this issue, she would say, I don't think so. We do not want, in an effort to be inclusive, we do not want to make any of the county feel like they're kind of taken aside here. And I myself am a Roma gypsy. We've gone to a gypsy church in Portland a number of times, and the congregation there, a lot of the young people are illiterate. One of the reasons they're illiterate is because they will not send their children to school. The reason they don't send their children to school is they are afraid that they are going to lose their culture, which is true, they would. And so what we want with the health community is to step away from these hot button issues and try to make the whole community feel included, inclusive. And I would be willing to wager that one of the reasons some of these young people in school feel like unsafe is because they keep being told that they're unsafe, because they're not. People in this community desire and want to include everybody. So it's just the statement that you're making, like we're advocating for this community, and I do long to see the medical community especially kind of step away from partisan issues and just across the board make everyone feel like you are for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, opposed to the motion and in favor of awarding the money, I'm going to switch left to right now. I am surprised Rob's hand's not up. Okay. Moving on. You're up.
Wait, no, you got it backwards. Yeah, you're looking for opposed to the motion right now.
Yeah, I said opposed to the motion, in favor of providing the two. Oh, okay. I see the confusion. Now we're on the communication issue again. It's my fault. Opposed to the motion to not provide the $200 for the mocktails.
I think at this point the room understands. You could probably just say opposed to the motion.
Okay, just making sure. Now you're up.
For opposing the money going.
No.
Wait. That is what I meant. I meant, or no. Okay. Opposed to the motion.
Opposed to the motion.
Of awarding the $200. So you don't like this one, I'm pretty sure. You put out a post that it was a pedo prom. And we're there now.
Hello, my name is Abby Knipp, a resident of North Bend. I'm reading a statement from a youth who couldn't be here today but really wanted to speak on this topic. Their name is Tyler Larson. Through the recent negativity surrounding Southern Oregon Coast Pride All Ages Prom, I would like to highlight the feelings of positivity and joy that come from events like this. I've been a local to Coos County my entire life. I often experience fear of certain community events due to lack of acceptance. This is not just a feeling based on fear alone, but fear that stemmed from very real experiences I have had. However, events like prom and other community activities that are run by Pride have made me feel comfortable, safe, and happy in my community. I have attended previous Pride events, including prom, and I've always had a wonderful time. In fact, being in these spaces have been the highlight of my year since I first discovered them. I was unable to attend my high school prom, and be able to take that moment back and have that experience in a safe and supportive environment is a very cherished memory of mine. I want to highlight that these events cause no harm, but they do promote joy. Having a space to be authentically yourself is not only life-changing, but life-saving. I would like everyone to know that this event is a safe space for those who need it and escape from the worry and fear that often live in queer minds while trying to navigate local spaces. A chance to have a good time, remake memories, and create new positive experiences, and be yourself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair Farmer.
Yes, sir.
I have a suggestion. I'd say maybe, I mean, it's your meeting to organize how you like. But I think maybe we just leave it up to people to raise their hand if they want to comment, and we'll just sort of select at random. One thought is that there are commenters who maybe don't fall into a clear, yes or no, support the motion or don't support the motion, and maybe just have general comments about this. And then the other thought would be, let's make sure that we're looking at online hands at some point.
There are 2 online. All right, I haven't done online, and I haven't done moderate, so that's where I'm going. Let's do online first. Have they indicated if they're in favor of the motion? They are opposed to the motion.
Well, I don't think you can change the rules.
No, but I do have to do this, so we're not going to do that. I need one in support of the motion, then we can go to opposed online, and then we'll go to moderates.
Well, how about if we want to maybe just save time at the end for people who don't fall into yes or no category clearly? Just say like any other
We're
comments.
getting near 11:30,
Yeah.
So I'm going to cheat and give it to Chris for opposed.
No, in favor.
Or, I'm sorry, in favor of the motion.
Yes.
Good Lord. All right.
I'm Chris Castleman from Coos County. I'm in favor of the motion to rescind the sponsorship, but from a moderate perspective that it provides a solution. I believe the only solution. This room is divided, our county is divided on issues like this. That's not a shock. If you rescind the sponsorship, the room's still going to be divided. If you keep the sponsorship, the room's still going to be divided. So that's no solution in my mind. But I have a solution right here. This is $5. 200 divided by 40 is $5. Because I saw about 40 hands go up when someone asked, the organizer asked, how many people are in support of this event? You can support it with $5, which is probably about the same amount of money you spent on gas to come here and support it. So there's like people on one side that want to call it a pedo prom. I don't really agree with that. It's too much. Then you got people on the other side that are like, hey, they don't support our safe space and they want to cancel it. That's too much as well. That's not what we're trying to do. Most of us in this room and in the county just don't feel like it's right to take this out of my pocket forcibly and give it to that event. So you can take this out of your own pocket. Right now, the event organizers behind me, 40 of you, or we can do this. There's another magic piece of paper. This only requires 10 people. 10 people at $20 gets to 200. That would be 400.
Is that a 10? Oh,
You're doing it as good as me
it was
right
a
now.
10. I thought it was a 10, sorry.
It's a 20. Times 10 is 200. That's Coos County math.
You saw the students.
Anyways, you get the point, people. Really, seriously, the organizer's right behind me. We can rescind the sponsorship. You guys can still attend to do whatever you guys were going to do there in the first place. You guys can still have mocktails. You can still have the event. We can still remain fiscally responsible. We can end the division. You guys can support. You guys can even do this. Take selfies and then virtue signal online that you supported the event. So that's what I'm in favor for. I think it's a moderate solution. I'm all for solutions. Thank you, guys.
Yep, thank you. Two things to note. That's not the question at hand right now. It's an interesting solution, but it's not the question at hand. And the money has already been taken out of your pocket. The state took it. The question is whether we spend it locally or they give it to somewhere like Portland. All right, we've done in the room. We've done that. Now we need the one that is opposed to the motion that is online. Melinda.
Thank you, Chair. One moment. I'll pull up my notes so I can make this timely.
Uh-oh, our audio is bad. Give it a sec.
No problem.
Oh, speak up.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yep, yell at me.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Melinda Richardson. I was born, raised, and I'm a resident of Coos Bay. I'm also an active duty Air Force spouse and a mom of two. My background is in HR, compliance, and community health education, so I'd also like to provide a public health perspective to the community benefit of this event. Community connection, belonging, and safe social spaces are recognized health factors. I think one of the issues that we're coming up against as a community is a fundamental misunderstanding of what this event is in its historical context. That comes from a lack of being a part of this community or an allyship. But the Pride event is public. It's themed as Emo Night. It is a reclamation event created because of so many folks not being able to be safe or participate in their proms. It is open to the public, but it is, for the LGBTQ community and those in allyship. And so the misunderstanding is coming from folks not being a part of that community or this discussion. And I think that's important to understand. You can't use layman's terms in regards to prom if you have no context of its background and what the purpose of the event is for, which is described on the event page if you were to purchase the tickets. The other thing that I want to address more seriously is that the agenda item is a liability, not the event, specifically the legal exposure, due to the agenda's framing of the discussion. The materials reference legal liability and moral liability, but the public record now has unsubstantiated insinuations that manufacture fear and place innocent people at risk. Once those claims are elevated by a public body, the ethical and legal liability no longer rests with the event or the agency partners, it rests with this board. Queer community events already face documented elevated risk of harassment and mass violence. When public officials imply danger without evidence or legal analysis, it does not protect the public, it puts a target on everyone attending. Personal narratives grounded in ideology create real public safety risks, given the language presented.
2 minutes.
Thank you. I urge you to govern responsibly, consider the consequences placed in the public record, and avoid inserting your personal grievances into county business.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Now in favor of the motion, there we go, everybody understands. I was going left to right, Rob. In favor. Yes, in favor of the motion to rescind the funding.
I'm pretty sure we spent more than $200 all sitting here for the last couple hours, and this is ridiculous. And like Chris said, I would have just rather gave $5 than have our taxpayers' name on this event. That was the problem. It was controversial. And I heard a lot of people, and it was sad that I hear people saying they're threatened, they're bullied, they don't feel comfortable in school, and that's part of the reason for this event. And that's fine with me. I just don't want to pay for it. I just don't want the county's name on it, and here's why. I've been listening to a lot of people who get bullied too. In fact, for 2 weeks before the Turning Point event, probably a month, I've had mothers calling me crying and upset because they were terrified that their children were going to be murdered in the streets by protesters. They were terrified that they were going to get bullied in school. And some of the kids did say they were going to get bullied for their religion. So it's not just a one-sided thing. This is something that's happening to all sides. So no one's innocent of this. So much less should we not put our names on it as a county. Let people decide this for themselves if they want to do these events. And I wouldn't take a damn dollar from you for my Turning Point event, because I don't think government has a right to be pushing morality down my throat, because I think your people in government are the least moral people out there. I look at the feds, I look at the state, and I look at our local government. We pay for it all. So I don't care when you sit there and you tell me, oh, this isn't our tax dollars, John. That's BS. It is our tax dollars. We pay the feds. We pay the state. And we're tired of them putting our names on things that we find controversial. And I wouldn't ask any of these people who are for this event, I wouldn't ask any of them for a dime to support my event, because it would be morally wrong. And I think it's just as morally wrong for them to ask me to pay for their event. I say vote to kill it. Thank you.
All righty. Where are we at? We are at 11:27. The meeting is scheduled to go to 11:30. We still have comments and we need to vote yet. What are our thoughts on the commission?
Get David and then go to vote.
I'm willing to.
Willing to do 15, John?
Okay, go 15.
Willing to do 15. We'll continue.
And just as a reminder, make sure we're giving people online a chance to comment, and
Okay.
people who maybe just don't have an opinion one way or the other, but
The last
still want to say
15 will be
something.
benign.
Make sure you pick the people that speak. So let people wander.
Yeah, so we're going to the folks that don't have a for or against right now. These are comments.
Could we say that? Point of order, you took the for first and the for last.
Did I? Okay. One against. You got her.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is David Jennings. I live here in Coquille. As some of you know, I had a long career in juvenile corrections, both in secure facilities and treatment centers. One of the things that I found very early on was how much anti-gay bigotry really hurt kids. And it didn't just hurt kids that were overtly gay or thought they might be gay. It hurt a lot of other people too. And I think that's the important thing we need to focus on. That particular group and the people that are around them are often at great risk. And anti-gay bias has tremendous negative impact within the community generally. I'm not going to try to take the time in 2 minutes to even begin to outline that. I'll save that probably for a comment today or at some other time. But I think the overriding thing to understand is that prejudice and bigotry against gay people, against their supporters, against people that are different, is a problem. It should be combated everywhere, and it is a health problem. The second thing, I have a very high opinion of Coos Health and Wellness. Doesn't mean I haven't disagreed with things they do. I hope you support them, and I hope you do what you can to basically combat this, because indeed this is a community-wide problem. It's a public health problem. It's a moral problem. It's not some sort of partisan political issue. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you. Amy. Okay, we've done for, we've done against. Now we're going down the middle. So if you have something related to, I suppose, a broader thing, and you are. Left or right? You.
My name is Jeremy Miller. I prepared a statement.
Where are you from?
Coos County.
Thank you.
Doing an even minimal amount of research into the topic, I found a study that was completed and published in January 2025 in Science Direct. Reading from that study, zero alcohol products, or ZAPs, could reduce alcohol-related harms by acting as a substitute for alcoholic beverages, kind of like Coos Health and Wellness stated. However, ZAPs were found to be salient and attractive to adolescents. Over a third of adolescents surveyed had tried ZAPs, with some participants acknowledging the potential for the ZAP to serve as a gateway to alcohol use, and recommended reducing visibility and accessibility. ZAPs are likely exposing minors to additional alcohol-related stimuli, potentially increasing their risk of underage alcohol consumption. The study's conclusion was that regulatory responses to ZAPs need to protect young people from potential adverse consequences of exposure, while enabling the use of ZAPs by adults as an alcohol substitute. So to be clear, I believe Coos Health and Wellness would be justifying in supplying mocktails to adults as an alcohol substitute at an adult-only event.
As a reminder, this is not expressing for or against at the end.
Right.
Okay.
However, in an event that involves children, to do so would be encouraging underage drinking behaviors and could lead to civil lawsuits or even criminal charges. My problem is not with the event. It's not even with Coos Health and Wellness providing drinks. It's with Coos Health and Wellness describing these drinks as non-alcoholic beverages, which encourages children to drink alcohol at a later date. Thank you.
All right. I'm trying. Okay. We're still going left to right. Okay. Only once. Now it's Brandy. I've seen a lot of arguments online that you don't want this one, so remember, this is benign data.
Oh, yeah, no. I have my own personal opinions about this stuff, and that's not really what this is about.
I'm sorry, you have to introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Brandy Martindale, Coos County. And so really what I wanted to talk about was the advertising, because and I think John Sweet mentioned this.
I'm sorry, we're up here.
I know, but I have questions for the director.
Direct it to us.
We good?
Yeah.
Okay. So really my concern was on the flyer itself. So the way this has
Facing
been
us.
described.
Talking to us.
Just to clarify, this is public comment to Board of Commissioners, not to other members of
Okay,
the
okay,
public.
sorry.
So
She already did that. Yep, we're good on that one. Okay.
Okay, guys. So I really, my concern aligns with John Sweet, that the way this flyer framed the event was highly contentious and suggested quite a few boundary violations. Things like tattooing, mocktails are appropriate for adults. They've found that these are not appropriate for alcohol reduction in adolescents. This being on Valentine's Day, this being called a prom, these are things associated with couples going to an event, a romantic event together. That framed with the all ages, with no indication of the 18 and over being a chaperone access, which seems suspicious why you would have a tattoo artist performing tattoos at a minor event, but I digress. So this flyer created a lot of this trouble. This flyer could have been presented with more accurate information that would have given the public a much more accurate picture of what the event was meant to be. But instead, we have all of these questions around safeguarding minors because of the insinuation created by the information on the flyer. What that does, now when we're paired with Coos Health and Wellness, who I have all the respect in the world for, they do amazing work in this county. I think this was maybe just an oversight in the literature because a lot of this research, as Jeremy cited, was 2025. It is new. But what this does when the county sponsors or is involved, has this money involved in activities like this, it sends a message to taxpayers who disagree with the framing of that flyer that we're wasting money. It
And
looks
we're
bad.
at 2 minutes.
Okay, that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Okie dokie. Thank you. All right. I think it's clear we're not going to get to everybody. and we still have to discuss, vote, and end. So I'm going to do one more, middle of the road. Oh.
There is no middle of the road, brother.
Well, we're going to take a crack at it.
Well,
I already gave two folks.
Well, my complaint, my name is Catherine McIntyre Coos Bay. My complaint is that Rod Taylor has made this into a very contentious issue. He brought it up, he's antagonized people. That's completely inappropriate for a commissioner. And I'm very disappointed with that. I'm very disappointed. There was a Black Lives Matter protest during COVID, and you got everybody to believe that something really bad was going to happen there, which it did not. Actually,
we're focused on this one matter, though.
I know, but
okay.
My matter is with Rod Taylor being divisive, selfish, not representing the people, and I just think you're not a good human being. I wish someone better would represent us.
We're off course from the topic at hand. Now, calm. Okay, we got to finish with the one online that moderate. Remember, we're not doing good at it. Okay, last comment from the online. Kaylee? Okay,
Yes.
Kaylee.
Hi, my name is Kaylee Sowers,
Speak
and
up, please.
sorry, the online. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. My name is Kaylee Sowers. I'm a Coos County resident. I just wanted to say, first off, Commissioner Farmer, I really appreciate your leadership here. I think that is something that we've been lacking. And I just wanted to say, and also John Sweet, I also appreciate you too. So not to leave you out, but I'm glad to see some new leadership. And I just wanted to say my comment is neutral, I guess, but just an observation and maybe a legal concern. The county had just provided significant public resources in the form of public safety and law enforcement at the Turning Point event. There was a large police presence there. And, I'm not a legal expert, so I don't know, but could that be perceived, or is that in fact a use of public resources for what was a Christian, Christian nationalist or Christian event? I was at the event, so it seemed very religious to me. And then to quickly withdraw. What's that?
Pertinent to this item, please.
Right. So the use of public funds for one group and then withdrawing public funds from another group, I guess, could that be seen as a bias, or could that open the county up for a lawsuit potentially for discrimination? That was my question. I'm not for or against. So.
Understood. Appreciate it. Okay.
Mr. Chair, I must insert here that the use of county and city resources at the TPUSA event was not a result of that event reaching out for public support. Rather, it was a required result from a certain individual threatening in no uncertain terms to bus in over 1,000 violent protesters against that event. And by the way, that individual has been a consistent firebrand on that side of the aisle. There was no request for any public support by any of the organizers of the TPUSA event. It was purely a result of that protest threat. Conversely, I have not called for any for the cancellation of the event, for any protest of the event itself. My objection has purely been as I previously stated. Thank you.
Okay, we've done that. I am guessing we're at a spot where we could call for a question. Are we thinking, John?
Please, yes.
Okay. Call for the question on the motion at hand. You. Yes, please restate.
I'll restate.
For everyone.
Let me go back to it here.
It's been a bit.
I lost it.
I can do it.
Here it is.
Yep, he's got it.
I'm going to abbreviate the motion here to what really is relevant and germane to our action here today. A move to direct CHW staff to retract partnership for the for the Not a Phase Prom event.
All in favor?
I would,
Nope.
I,
Oh, I'm sorry, second is needed for that.
I'll second
Okay.
that, because we have to vote.
Or-
And then I would like to start the vote by saying, my concerns, looking ahead, have been addressed by Coos Health and Wellness's willingness to take a hard look at the information we put out. I think what we put out did perhaps more harm than good in the end. And the requested action had to do with discussion of legal liability. And we did that, and thanks to Laura's input, I'm satisfied that there will be sufficient crowd control, or whatever you want to call it there. You're going to have, well, it's going to be well chaperoned and taken care of. That's satisfied. Personally, I am against the use of mocktails, but science seems to be a little controversial about whether that's a factor or not. So I vote no to the motion. I'm against it.
I was starting with ayes.
Well, yeah, so we apparently started with the nays, so.
Sorry.
Mine,
So we're,
let's do yours and I'll do mine.
yeah,
We're doing a roll
abdicating
call now.
protocol a little bit here, yeah, roll call vote. I, for previously stated reasons, will vote in favor of the motion.
In mine, related to the liability, I feel that's been addressed. Related to the additional implications this had for the multiple other items that we fund with this money that is not all open to the public, which this sounds like actually you're not checking anybody's gay card at the door. You can come in. Making it more open to the public than the events that they have to pay to get into. You do have to pay?
It is a sliding scale, $0 to $20.
Oh, okay. So we've covered that. No, we're done. And,
Okay, this will go on Fox News.
okay. We already made national news.
I've got enough information here.
Sir, you're
that
not
your
at the
next
mic.
county, your next
Can you
county
find your way to
commissioner
your
meeting,
chair?
when you're trying to convince these people.
Do you need
with smoke and
assistance
mirrors
finding the
that you
doors?
need more money.
Because you're grooming kids.
This is the reason. You're scaring the hell out of me.
All right. Solved that. I was serious. I will do that. Okay. Yeah, what I covered. It has implications that are broader. It's a good discussion to have what we want to fund as far as the methodology by which we select it. I would like to see collaboration with the PIO in the future, because even I got a little nervous about the age thing, which is my own mistake, I understand, but just clarity. But yeah, I'm also voting against the proposal. So it didn't make it. All right. That brings us to the end of it. Oh, consent
Mr.
calendar.
Chair, move to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Late agenda items, we already covered. Commissioner comments?
None.
Yeah, I'm gonna forego that as well. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I think we've talked quite a bit. I'll forgo mine. That does open public comment, but not related to the items that were already covered. Not related to the item already covered. Okay. I think everyone's decided we're adjourned. Adjourned. Eric? What? Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Sign up sheet.
You gotta look at the sign up sheet.
What do you have? How are you? Good.
I guess. We have a lot of people on the sign up sheet, but it's mostly
Pardon
Pride. Gary Haga has forestry. We're not done yet. All right,
This has to stop.
we're not done yet.
This has to stop right here.
We need to get to the public comments unrelated to the agenda items. And the first one on the screen is Gary Haga.
I don't see Gary.
Gary is left.
Or him down.
We had a Julie for prom, we did that. Brandy prom, we did that. Jeremy. Did that. Pride. Yep, pride. One of these I can't read, and the comment is a question mark. Please write what you're commenting about and write legibly. Huh? Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Did he leave?
No, he's in the hallway.
I'm just calling it. He's out of the room.
Yep.
Pride. Government business. Rob, was that about pride or is that other government business? He left. Oh, nope, you're here.
He's gonna take it.
Okay.
Might as well. I just gave $200 to a nice group of people. Yeah, where are we at with the urban renewal?
Urban renewal?
Yeah, we just found out that the port, well, they're not paying their bills. They got a lot of debts. They got us into debt, and you guys gave them a bunch of urban renewal money, and I'm just curious what's going on with it.
We didn't give the port any urban renewal money.
No, the taxpayers did. I agree. You didn't.
No, the urban renewal is a separate fund from the port.
Right.
The urban renewal has not provided
But-
funds to the port.
But the port's on there. They get to decide all that stuff. So what happened with the money?
It's still aimed towards the road, I believe, but the money hasn't gone anywhere.
It hasn't gone anywhere.
Nope.
And it's still costing the county?
No, it's
No.
diverted funds. I mean, we still have control of the fund, so it didn't cost us money. It put it into a different restricted fund.
Yeah, well, after listening to what they did at that meeting and the financial situation they're in, I would pull every damn dollar out of there. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not worth it. Go ahead.
I didn't hear you call my name. Can I speak?
Oh, sure.
Because you weren't in the room. I want to go back to the,
Not
I
on
guess the
items
Coos Bay
we've already
Wagon
covered.
Room. I'm talking about my comments, my 3 minutes. Am I talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
We already covered the wagon road, though, right?
Yes, no, but it's my public comments. I can talk what I want to about. You can't
Okay,
dictate
just
what I'm talking.
start talking.
Well, I'd like to, and this is relevant. How many people members of LNG here? Well, there was 1,000 people signed a petition against that. And the county commissioners at that time, I'm not calling no names, he just threw it in a wastebasket. And so what happened? About probably at least 8 years, wasn't it, John? The fight went on for LNG, and they went and done 10. They went on. John and them even had money spent on this Bayfront development or whatever it was and everything. This little lady, a housewife, ended up beating every one of the biggest lawyers in the country. Her name was Jody McCaffrey. You're doing the same thing by not recognizing the people on the Coos Bay Wagon Road lands that voted not to do what you guys are right now attempting to do again. I think it's pretty sad when the people vote and you guys overrule them. Now, it's wrong, guys. And I hope some of these people ride up and bite you over it. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
My last note, I guess. When I was campaigning, it was mentioned I talked about this a lot. Bob talked about opposing it a lot. Bob lost. And we are 4 minutes past the 15-minute extension. So we're adjourning. Meeting adjourned.
Good job.
Yeah, those are challenging types of meetings to chair. So you managed it well. I think it